Hi everybody, my name is Tiffany for Manor House Creations. Today we're going to be creating a card. I'm using the London Market Pink Paisley paper, and we're going to be creating this long card, and it is measured at 5.5 by 4 1/4. And first layer is going to be this pretty pink print here. Okay, so it's going to be these squares, and the top layer, the top squares are smaller than the bottom squares, and they are measured at 2 this way by 2.5 lengthwise. The bottom squares are measured at 2 by 2 1/4. Okay, so what I first did was I took my distress tool here, and you can see it's a little bit distressed on the edges on these ones, and I'm just going to take it, and you can use your scissors, you can even use your nails to do this. It just gives it a nice look. The next layer, I did not measure these with exact measurements, okay? This is how I normally measure. Okay, so what I do is I take my piece, so this is going to be the bottom layer, and then this would be the top layer. Okay, so I have it at the length that I want here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it on top here so that I could see kind of just a little bit of the back paper peeking through, okay? And then I'm just going to take my nail and just kind of make an indent in like that, and then cut this part off so that, you know, this is going to be, it's going to be layered really nicely that way. And especially after I distress all the edges, it's going to fit perfectly in each little square that way. And so I'm going to distress these. Okay, so as you can see, they layer really nicely, give it a nice shabby look. Okay, so I'm going to put these, I'm going to adhere these together. I'm going to use my ATG. I'm going to adhere these squares to the card. I'm going to do the bottom squares first. Make sure that it's lined up on the bottom and the top. And make sure that it's going to be even on both sides on the ends here, and then on the bottom as well, so that it gives a nice line here. Okay, and then these ones here. Make sure that it's lined up this way. And then again, you want to line it up from this one. You know, you want to make sure that it's all lined up because so that it is nice, has those nice lines, so it's not crooked, okay? And we're going to kind of curl it up. Want some dimension on this card, tear it there, give it a little curl. Okay, so we're going to now move on to the sentiment and the image part of the card. This part, the where I'm going to stamp my image, is measured at 2 1/4 by 3. Okay, and then again, what I did was I just used my nail to kind of do the back part of this one. Okay, so that's what I did there. And then my image I'm going to use is this flower, super pretty. And I'm using this Antique Linen Distress ink. Make sure that it gets all on there. I stamp sideways, so it just makes it easier to line up for me to see, so line it up. If you wanted to, you could stamp on a larger paper and then just cut it out from there, but this is pretty, it's not, it doesn't have to be too perfect. Okay, so there's the image. Okay, and we're going to distress this as well. Okay, I'm going to add the image to the bottom layer. And you probably can't see the image, but in the pictures at the end of the video, you'll be able to see. It's just this, you know, light color ink, which I want this card to be very, you know, pale looking. I don't want it to be too much bright colors. And I'm just pulling back, making it, you know, a little bit more distressed. Okay, so I'm going to kind of off-center the image here. Okay, so I'm just going to off-center it. Just like that. And now I'm going to show you how I created this bow with the satin ribbon and this jute rope here. I used some white satin ribbon, and what I did was I just took my distress tool and I used the antique linen because I want it to kind of, you know, to all match, obviously. So I just ran it across. Okay, so now that we got the whole, you know, ribbon, I don't know if you could see the difference, but it just gives it a nice tone of this sandy color. Okay, so now we're going to take some water and move your card out of the way. You don't want to get your card wet. And just soak it with the water so that all that ink can run through all those fibers. Okay, and then you're going to heat dry it. Okay, so now we're going to take some of this jute rope and I'm going to cut some off here. We're going to line it up, it's way too much, together here. with the jute rope on top of the satin ribbon. Okay, and if you don't know how to make a bow, hopefully I can help you. I have a hard time explaining it, but I'll try my best. So what I do is I take my ribbon and I, hold it even kind of, spaced apart here, a few inches. Loop it around your fingers like this, okay? And then, so you're gonna pull your fingers out, then cross them. Then you're gonna have this loop here, this hole here. You're gonna take the top one and loop it through. Make sure you keep that jute rope and the satin ribbon all together. Okay. And then, so now you kind of have this lopsided bow here. So what you do is you pull on the sides here, and then after you pull on the sides, you tighten it back up, and if it doesn't look right, you just keep doing that until it looks right, how you want it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the jute rope a little bit longer than my satin ribbon, and to cut the ribbon, I'm going to cut it at an angle here. You want to do the inside, you want it to be shorter than the outside. Okay, so again, longer. So there's your bow, super cute. Next, before I adhere that, I'm going to show you how I created the flowers. These ones here, and this one here. Okay, and these ones are the Solitude. They're just white. Okay, and so what I did was I used, again, this antique linen, and I just smashed it in that color. Okay, so you can do as little as you want, as much as you want. It's all up to what color you want. I'm going to do some, one of them darker than the other one. I want the stamens to be a little colored as well. You want to make sure that you get the bottom layer of the flower too. Okay, so this one's going to be the lighter color. Just going to place it in here. Make sure the backs again are colored as well. Okay. And then I'm going to add some pink to this one, just a little bit of pink. I want a little bit of color. And just kind of run it along the edges here, like this in the ink, because we're going to add some water like we did the ribbon, and it's going to let all that color and ink flow through the whole flower here. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit of the pink to this one as well. Okay. So, and you can also use like Glimmer Mist or like a Shimmer's Mist, but I'm just going to use some water. And I fluff it up. I don't know. I feel like it helps the ink flow through the flower. This one. Okay. So you want it pretty well saturated with the water because, like I said, you want all that ink to flow through the flower. And you're going to heat dry these, okay? Okay, we're going to stamp our sentiment. And this is it says just because. And I'm going to use this Memento Rich Cocoa ink, just so that the sentiment stands out from the card, because that's what the person is going to be looking for. And okay, I don't like stamping sentiments on the textured side. I like to do it on the non-textured side. I'm just going to stamp it here. And this is just a strip of paper that I had. I'm going to do it over again seems there we go. Okay. So now for this, I'm gonna cut it just a tad bit. This is about, you know, I wanna say maybe a ½ inch between the sentiment and the end, because I'm gonna be shoving it, kind of tucking it underneath one of the flowers, okay? So for the, I'm gonna make a little pendant banner. So you just kind of cut diagonally, just like that. Okay. So now we're going to adhere our sentiment, our flowers, and our bow. And then, and you can also add like a strip of paper, the pattern paper inside the card, and then some more plain cardstock so that you could write your message in the inside of the card. Okay, so I'm gonna add this kind of like that, and I'm going to use some hot glue. Okay, so now I'm going to add the flowers here. So one on the top, and then one on the bottom here. Okay, and then I'm going to add the sentiment peeking out through the ribbon there, if I can get it. Maybe I'll go like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add the hot glue on the back of where I stamped the sentiment, and then I'm just going to pull up the flower here and then place it just like that. There we go. So that completes our card, and like I said, I'll have pictures at the end. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!